Okay, we are live.
Oh, no.
Hello.
We'll give everyone a minute to get settled in. We're so excited to see you here tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Back to Beloit webinar. I'm Lucy Borich-Gray, President of the Beloit College Alumni Association. Thank you for joining us as we reconnect with the college and hear about what's happening on campus and look ahead to Beloiter Days. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce current members of the Alumni Association Board who are joining us tonight. When I call your name, please briefly introduce yourself and share your class year. Oh, Kevin, you can be on this too. Let me get you up here. You're part of the board here. When I call your name, please introduce yourself and share your class year and tell us where you're joining from. So Jesse, you want to start?
Sure. Jesse Peshman, class of 2009, joining from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Vicki?
Class of 1970, and I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
Wonderful. Linda?
Class of 1970, Lawrenceville, New Jersey.
Wonderful. And Kevin?
I'm class of 1987, and I'm just down the street from Beloit in Antioch, Illinois.
And I'm, again, Lucy Gray, and I am class of 1988, and I am in Northbrook, Illinois. So I want to thank all of our board members for their time, energy, and enthusiasm that they bring to Beloit College. Our board works to strengthen connections with alumni, students in the college, and we want to help Beloiters remain engaged wherever they live. We're also delighted this year to welcome 6 new board members who will be joining in September. Frank Martin, class of 1968, Karen Molander, class of 1990, Antonio Predivan, class of 2009, Ajani Joseph, class of 2023, Emma Lynn May, class of 2023, and I'm going to have trouble with this name, Linda, you're going to have to help me. Antakarish Sharma?
Sounds good to me, but
okay. I hope I'm pronouncing. I was practicing and I was hoping I need to work on my pronunciation. Class of 2023 too. So we're excited to see them at our September meeting and are really thankful to Linda, who's been leading the charge with our recruitment of new board members. So we're thrilled to have alumni representing a broad range of class years, including 3 members from 2023. Their experiences and perspectives and ideas will help us continue building an alumni association that serves and represents Beloiters across the generations. Exciting things are happening at Beloit as the college continues to innovate and explore the possibilities of the liberal arts education. And tonight we're looking forward to sharing some of that energy with you and helping you find new ways to connect with Beloit and one another. So without further ado, please introduce yourself in the chat on YouTube or in StreamYard if you're watching, and let us know where you're joining us from. And while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up Eric Boynton, President of Beloit College, and Jesse and Kevin will have a conversation with him. So we're a little transition here.
Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you,
and let me get Eric up here. There's Eric. And I will remove myself.
Hello, President Boynton.
Hello, Kevin. Hello, Jesse. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? How's the weather there?
It's a beautiful, beautiful night. This is my backyard. You're looking at the library through the trees. It's like 72 degrees, no humidity. Yeah, it's perfect.
No big storms.
Nice. Very nice. I got the same background across the street here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's right this way.
Yeah, you see me sitting over there, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. So, I like your swivel chair, Kevin. It suits you.
Thank you. Swivel. Anyway, so it's always an honor and pleasure to speak with you, President Boynton, and want to certainly thank you for taking the time out to communicate with us and in the great way that you do. Thanks for everything you're doing there at the college. For everyone who does know what you've been up to and the amazing things you've been able to accomplish as the primary ambassador for Beloit College, thank you from all of us. We're going to dig into a few things here but certainly want to thank you for everything you've been doing for the college and you know what, for the world, because Beloit has
thanks,
impact,
Kevin.
you know. So
Hey,
we do have
we can just end it right there on all those high notes, right?
Okay, so thank you everyone for attending and good night. But we do have a list of, you know, this is an informal interview. We have a sort of a kind of a list of questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Jesse to handle a few of those, and then we'll banter for a little while. We got about 15, 20 minutes, I believe, with you. So Jesse.
Yeah. My first question is, what are you most excited about this year? Thinking about all the changes of the last few years, like we're 6 years from the pandemic, you know, enrollment's up. Yep. I think there's like cause for optimism, and I'm really interested to hear like what you are most optimistic and excited about, like going forward into the 26-27 school year.
Yeah, no, this is that's a great question, because I am excited about this upcoming year, and so I'm excited about the incoming class, right? So the incoming class, we stand right now at about 340 some entering students, which is substantially 25% or so higher than last year, and of course last year was higher than the year before. So we're tracking in the right direction and welcoming students to campus. Yeah, so yesterday was new student move-in day, and so we had a chance to meet all the new students and the parents. And I can tell you that anecdotally, me stopping and talking to parents, everybody had a great time. Move-in was successful. It was a beautiful day. It was a little warmer than this today, but everybody was so excited to be on campus. Lots of compliments about how the campus looked. Lots of compliments about the ways in which the parents and students were treated. And that's crucial, right? Because the one thing I'm excited about is just that you guys all know this, right? And everybody on the call should know this. The one thing, there's a bunch of things that have changed. The one thing that will never change at Beloit College is the relationship that the students have with the faculty and staff. That kind of close-knit, mentoring, supportive, but also challenging role, right? And in order to cultivate those kind of relationships, man, the first time you meet somebody, you got to make an impression. And so I was talking to two parents, and they said they weren't actually checking on me, but they encountered a staff member who was not part of the entourage of welcoming people to campus, and they got lost. And that staff member, who was not officially on duty at that point, the way in which they approached them in a friendly, open, and cordial way really struck them. And so enough that they actually commented on it, that, this is across the board, the way in which the institution does its work. So I'm excited about what's new, the incoming class. I'm excited about what's traditional and age-old, the kinds of relationships that we continue to develop here. I'm also excited about welcoming them to a campus. So and then just hold on to your hat, Kevin, but lots of compliments about the way the dorms look. Now, there's still a lot of work. There's still a lot of work on the dorms. Don't get me wrong. But as we go through the dorms and head through them, right, and renovate each one at a time, we're doing a good job, and we're getting the kind of compliments that we need to have in this really competitive marketplace for students. Now, don't get me wrong. There's no gold-plated fixtures like Kevin has at his house, but it is true. They're clean. They're Kevin's gonna lay into me here in a little bit, but they're clean and they're comfortable, and they are the right kind of living space. And so I just want to point out that there's no way that we could not do the work on the dorms that we've done over the last 3 years to kind of go through each one without the substantial support of donors. So that's just crucial. That's one of the pillars of the campaign that we're involved in right now is student experience. And one of the key components of student experience is where they live on campus. And so I just want to point that out, that's one of the exciting things is welcoming these students and parents to a refreshed dorm space. And as well, one more thing, and I know I have to stop talking here for a second, but the success on fundraising has also fueled some really interesting updates in the sports complex. And so students now walk in the sports complex, and one student told Pat Miller, our new AD, this one's a positive one, but it lets you know how far we had to come. She told Pat that, oh, now I don't have to be embarrassed about walking into the locker room. So that's an important upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all great.
We had a lot of
Yeah.
those.
I was gonna say, I love the energy. Like, I think everyone on this call can remember our move-in day.
Yeah.
And while there's been a lot of changes to the dorms, like there's Bushnell, Porter, they're all there. Mauer. I was in Mauer. Do you remember,
Yep.
Kevin, your freshman dorm?
Uh,
I'll let you think
yes,
about that.
yes,
I'll
I
get back to
do.
you.
But we don't need to get into me. I want to ask, because this is like going forward. I mean, I know we have record numbers coming in this year. Congratulations.
Mhm.
I know everyone's talked about the demographic, the wall that we're coming up against here, and it's amazing.
Cliff, Kevin.
Cliff, wall, whatever the hell, it's going to hit us, right? And so congratulations to your team, the efforts you're putting into the connections, the collaborations, and if I know there's a lot published about it, and where can people go to find this stuff, because there's so much information, and not everyone reads the alumni newsletters, not everyone gets. Where can people find all this? It's profound. That's the word I think of in terms of what Beloit is doing relative to, and I'll just call it what it is, the competition. Where can people find all that information and see the extraordinary things that are going on right now?
Okay, so first I'll just have to say, Kevin, just keep up. Like, if we're moving too fast for you, so read the darn newsletter, read the magazine, right? We're on social media, you get emails with stories. So that's my admonishment to you, right?
I thought you were telling me that.
No, I'm just telling.
It's a hypothetical for you there. Thank you, Mr.
And so that was I'm scolding a bit there, but let me on the pleasant, positive side. Our website is filled with really wonderful stories, and some of these stories appear in the magazine, but there's a whole bunch of stories on our website that are actually not in the magazine, and they're quick reads, and you get a quick snapshot into the lives of students, faculty, and staff on campus. You get a quick snapshot, like if you want to know what we're doing with the humanities around block courses, putting courses together around themes or ideas that students want to explore within the humanities that actually service and support their career ambitions. I mean, that's a wonderful story. You can look up, so you go to the website and you look up blocks, or you look up innovation in the humanities. And at this point, that's a little beyond my pay grade, Kevin. There might be other people on the call that can tell you exactly where to find some of these stories, but the magazine is on our website.
I think you
the
nailed it.
newsletter is on our website.
People sort of have to come home to find out what's going on at home, right?
Right, and so it's super easy, but you still have to go there.
It would be great if someone could find that and put it in the chat. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. And someone in the chat said they love the magazine. I also love the magazine, so I look forward to it every time. So to kind of build on that, there's been a shift at the college, right, to the more career readiness, like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. What do you want alumni to understand about that, just to like build on that a little bit more? Yeah. And like, how's that different? What's the same? Like, why should alumni care and be supportive and excited about that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Jesse. I appreciate it, because we all went to school in different times. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, right now there's a rage out there. I mean, for ROI, for show me how this degree is leading, not to my fifth job, not to my, overarching health, but to my first job. And so that's kind of the eagerness of, if I'm going to invest this kind of money, you need to demonstrate to me. And that's a great question. We should be fielding that question. We should be talking about that. And then what I'll say to this crew, because everyone on this call knows it, I do believe that the best kind of preparation for the world that students are currently inheriting, career, life, whatever it is, the best kind of preparation is the education you get at Beloit College. So that's first. But Jesse, here's the thing, is that I can't come out and say that to the uninitiated, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have to find ways to get people to see the compelling institutional perspective, the compelling way in which we're preparing students better than competitors. So we could go ahead and use that word, Kevin. Better than larger schools, against the headwind where there's a perception out there that people want to go to larger schools in major metropolitan areas. So that's already set against us. And on top of that, there's a demographic cliff. On top of that, there's participation rates has actually declined. People who think I don't need college at all in order to succeed. These are all the headwinds that we're facing. So how do we describe this kind of education rooted in the small liberal arts? That is our core. That is our foundation. We're not leaving that. That's the kind of relationships that students have with faculty. It's the idea of having the breadth of learning across multiple disciplines, but having the depth in one. You will not graduate from this place without knowing how to write, how to communicate, how to think, how to problem solve, right? You're going to leave with the flexibility, both professionally and intellectually. We have to find a way to capture that, the attention. So I hope everyone's heard this. We've organized the curriculum around schools. So we have a school of business, we have a school of health sciences, we have a school of media and the arts, we have a school of environment and sustainability, we have a school of global and public service. Those schools actually call out labor markets, they call out future directions, they call out, right, the ways in which this degree is preparing you for what's next. All the majors exist within these schools, right? As a recovering philosopher myself, I can tell you that we have a philosophy major that's robust. The class size of philosophy are actually some largest ones in the whole campus. The major isn't as large. But some of those classes are actually, right, because
that's great. People are mixing. That's good.
That's right. So schools is one way that we demonstrate the value of this kind of degree out there into the public in order to get some traction around enrollment. And so, these things are working, right? We can see the enrollment numbers are up. We can see that the ways in which we described a stretched scenario for small liberal arts. So we're going to stretch the envelope. We're going to expand it. We're going to welcome more students to a transformative education than maybe they thought that we were open to. We're going to stretch the curriculum. We're going to offer, we're not going to cede ground to those so-called vocational schools. We're going to offer a major in finance. So when someone searches, can I do finance at Beloit College? Well, 2 years ago, you put in finance in Beloit College, it would have come up a big zero. So you wouldn't have applied. Now you have reason to apply. So let me stop there. There's some of the,
Yeah, and I apologize. We have, with limited time with you. So I want to make sure I interject this because some of the things you've done, the innovative things like the partnership with Arizona State, right? And these are just amazing things that I imagine a lot of our alumni aren't aware of.
That's right.
Just a quick snippet on that. We got a few minutes, and then I got one more question for you at least. But tell us about like that kind of relationship. What does that mean first?
Yep. I think partnerships are key to finding our feet. And so it's partnerships with local, with the regional, but also national. So, Edgewood University, we partnered with about 2 years ago to set up our BSN in nursing. So it's a nursing program on our campus, a 3141 program with Edgewood. So again, we set that up in partnership to have a nursing program within 6 months rather than 5 years, for instance. We have partnership with Blackhawk Tech right up the road that sends us really excellent transfer students. We have partnerships with Beloit Health System, which is a part of the expansion of our health sciences school. And then as you pointed out, Kevin, we have a really interesting pilot partnership with ASU, Arizona State University. So what would a college of 80,000 students want to do with a college of 1,000 students? Well, it turns out there's a whole bunch of really interesting operations that we can engage. That partnership, which is in the second year of a pilot, is now leading to a larger consortial idea of other small liberal arts colleges creating a consortium around interesting course share with ASU in order to expand opportunities for majors and for our students. And that one's really interesting. I just got back last week from convening in New York, and led by Beloit, I'll have to say, this whole thing, because everybody was getting around us. But around the table were all the major foundations, like Lumina Foundation, Endeavor Foundation. What's Bloomberg's? Bloomberg was there. Well, he wasn't there, but because those foundations want to see how it is that they can support innovation that will protect this kind of education. And so it's really interesting. It's a testament to the kind of envelope pushing that we're engaged in at Beloit College around innovation. Does that help, Kevin?
No, that's good. And I think I'm going to ask where we're going here. And upcoming. There's great things like EntreCon coming on, and really cool things happening on campus. I'm sure people should be aware of. Jesse, you have I know. Thank you again for all your time here. Jesse, you have another question for
Final question. I think, Eric, my last question would be, how can alumni support the college and events coming up, and kind of, what's the last message to us on this call?
Yeah. So these are challenging times, for places like Beloit. So having a community of supporters out there is crucial. So you can do it a bunch of different ways. One is hire our students when they graduate. That's a big one. That's a big one, right? These people are prepared. Get to know them as students, hire them as interns before you hire them for the work. So we have the schools now are a conduit. So a way in which internships flow into the various school spaces, we can capture those and provide those to our students. Right now, there's a rage among students, not just our own, out of classroom experiences that are preparing them for what's next. And internships is a crucial component of that. Internships that lead to jobs, of course, would be the gold standard. Get involved in an alumni network that seeks to support and advise students and get them into jobs. I encourage everyone. Now, you don't have to wear the shirt that Kevin's wearing, but you do need to wear the shirt that Jesse's wearing. Everywhere you go, put on a ball cap, put on the sticker. Sorry, Kevin, it's an excellent shirt. I shouldn't have thrown any shade on your shirt.
Well, I was expecting you to wear yours tonight too, man.
It's
I
true.
still need that photo op with you and your wife.
Wearing the.
Hey, by the way, everyone, just so you know that they both have this shirt.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
and it says Beloit somewhere on it.
Kevin was very generous. I think
that's the Alumni Association Scholarship Fund shirt. You'll see more about that, people. Yeah.
So wear your cap, wear your bumper stickers on your car, talk about Beloit all the time to everybody. Encourage people to attend. You can be an ambassador, right, to a school that needs to grow to about 1,200 students. And then to go back, another thing you do, Kevin, is what you brought about earlier in the conversation is stay abreast of all the developments. Read the newsletter, right? Read the magazine.
Read the magazine.
Yeah, come on the website. Be in touch with our alumni office. Get to know us. And when you get to know us, I think you'll be happy to see how hard we're working and engaging in this really competitive climate. And then you might choose to support the college with gifts as well. But those are some key ways that alumni can get involved.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think one of the things that people need to understand, and I'm on campus infrequently, but I get out there, it's still Beloit. It's the character, the culture is still there. The craziness is still there. I know we want people to come for homecoming and Beloiter Days coming up soon. And, there's always events going on for you to participate in from near and far.
That's right.
We have our gatherings. What do we call those? What are those called, Jesse?
Beloiter Unite.
Beloiter Unite.
Beloiters Unite. Thank you.
Yeah, the local ones.
Yeah, and they're regional, and you can host one if you want. Just reach out to the alumni office, but come back, see what's going on, because it is really exciting. And President Boynton spoke to the upgrades, things that are continuing to go on, and that's the world changes. The world changes, and you can change with it. You can be proactive, progressive, which Beloit certainly is, and but you've got to be physically in tune with what's going on in the real world too. So thank you, President Boynton, for joining us. Now we are going to be interviewing a few of our recent alumni, and as a highlight today, some people who are involved in some museum activities, and welcome you to stay on if you have some questions and want to speak with them as well. I'm going to turn it back over to our Alumni Association Board President, Lucy Borch. Great.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say a quick thing. There's been a glitch with StreamYard. So people should be watching on YouTube. I sent an email to everyone and have posted it in the various alumni groups. So just want to let you know about that. And I apologize. That's on me. The second thing is the transition in about Beloiter Days, which is September 18th through 20th. And we'll put the link in the chat in a second. The college would really love for you to register, A, so they can plan accordingly for the various events, and B, it also helps them measure the success of events if we have lots of people registered. So please, please, please do that. Several of us board members will be there. You can visit classes, you can go to lectures, you can come to the awards assembly on for alumni who are in reunion classes on Friday afternoon, which is always an incredibly inspiring event, and it helps me remember why I went to Beloit, and it inspires me to keep doing more to try and change the world. There's also obviously the game, and on Saturday morning, the alumni board is hosting a coffee before everything starts. So the whole schedule is online. We hope that you will register. There's a QR code over to the left of the screen too that will take you to registration as well. So I just want to put a plug in there. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up our first alumni, I guess is the proper word, who's going to be talking a little bit about her work in Racine. So welcome to Amanda. Amanda, thank you for coming. We're so excited to have you here. And I'm going to turn it over to the rest of the gang and get off the stage.
All right, thanks, Lucy. Amanda, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that helps. I know, and I put the picture behind me, which is the piece I actually did in Beloit at the Beloit Powerhouse, which is now the Powerhouse. At the time it was a Wisconsin Power and Light Building. So yeah, I call myself a large-scale textile installation artist. I graduated from Beloit in 1998, and went to undergrad for art, first as a math major for a little bit, and then moved up to Madison for grad school and started teaching at the Art Institute of Chicago, and then moved to New York about 20 years ago. So yeah, long trajectory. But I drape buildings with fabric. I work with the community. And so all the fabric that you see here was actually donated from people in Beloit. And we have these public sewing days, and we sewed everywhere from the public library to the community centers, you name it. And it was great. So I've been doing that for the last 25 years. I've worked with about 8,000 to 9,000 people around the world, all volunteering, and then covered about 35 to now soon to be 38 buildings coming up. So yes, and I have
your next one's in Racine in Wisconsin.
Exactly. Yes. So September 19th. So it's right during the Beloit Alumni Days, which is so exciting. There's the project is called Zig and Zag. And the reason I brought that as to the title is that the Racine Art Museum is one of the largest collections of craft in the United States. And I'm going to basket weave their whole building. Yeah. And so they have these panels on the outside, and I've never done this before. This is the first time. So we've been sewing for the last month, and we had about 300 people in 3 weeks, which is crazy. Fantastic. And yeah, we're ready to go. So I'm going to come back into town to install at the beginning of September. And then the official party will be, it's a street festival called Party at on the Pavement on September 19th. But the piece is up for 2 months. So even after going into the alumni experience, you can drive to Racine, come see the piece, or do it as a day trip, who knows. And actually, I'm going to be showing this piece inside the museum as well. So to come and see that project that I made, I think it was in 2018, I returned to Beloit to build it as part of a residency. And yeah, we'll be showing it there, called Power Plant Beloit.
So Amanda, I don't want to, I've never met you. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
So, yes, hello. And I don't want to presume that you've ever met President Boynton, so I'll let you.
No, first time. Hello.
Amanda there as well. So I'm curious, how did you align? Why do you do what you do? What's your why? Why are you in this large collaborative art thing that you do, this public art thing you do?
I mean, I've always liked to work big. I'm originally from Missoula, Montana. And so it was, a big shift moving to Wisconsin, cold, to go to Beloit for the first time. And you guys were talking about dorms. I showed up I'd never visited Beloit.
Oh, wow.
I had a family friend who taught economics, Professor Warren Palmer. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was a very close family friend. And I called him up and I was like, what do you think? He's like, yeah, you should like it. So I went. And, the reason I started doing it, it was kind of the professor there, Ralph Masinski, who was a professor in sculpture. And I remember my kind of junior year, he was like, you should start working big. And why don't we incorporate the community? I was like, let's do it. And so we started building that flag project that was on the cover of one of the Beloit magazines back in like 98 or 97. And it was for the sesquicentennial. And I will tell you, I know that name because I was working as a work study person in the graphics department, and I had to draw lots of turtles with sesquicentennial and things. Because this is right when computers, the internet was just showing up. But I do this because I love connecting with the community. I love connecting art and everyday humans. And so part of this practice is encouraging people to feel more welcoming into the contemporary art world, and also vice versa, kind of opening up institutions and saying you really need to think about what is the community and how we can bring them in. So even coming to Beloit, it was really cool to take people to the community art centers or to the community centers in town, because a lot of people hadn't left campus, and it was the first time for a lot of students to do that. And so I was really excited also to open up the Powerhouse before it became the Powerhouse. To encourage people. I mean, I remember going to school there and looking at that building for the whole time I was there, never knowing what was inside. And so the show, which was here, was actually there. We put it on the crane and moved it back and forth through the space.
That's so cool.
And it was open to everybody in town. So all these citizens from the city started showing up, which was great. So it's just a really nice blend between the college and the community, contemporary art, people that sew. It was just bringing all this together. So for me, it's just a secret way to make the art world bigger and more inclusive, and to encourage people who do all making to participate. So yeah.
Thank you. President Boynton, you have any questions for Amanda?
So Amanda, it sounds like your production, like you're not lonely.
No.
I mean, you always work in collaboration. Has that always been? I mean, I imagine that's a part of the art itself.
Yeah,
is the
for
way
sure.
that you're producing with other people. Can you describe what your thinking is around that? How that is actually a part of the artistic endeavor?
I mean, it is part of it's like 90% of it. I mean, a lot of times the spectacle of the large piece is really just the awe-inspiring moment, the shock and awe that we built this thing that's so tall and big. But really the magic comes to these daily sewing days and what people talk to each other while they're over the table making something together, having no clue what it's going to look like in the end. I mean, we have a plan, but usually everybody's working on something very small and private. So yeah, I don't know. It's an experience working with humans that you get to know people, you get to know a community. It becomes very site specific based on the people that show up. And it becomes special for that moment. Like that day, that hour, that location, this piece will always be about Beloit. And I mean, I had dinners with people in town and got to know a lot of community members I probably wouldn't have known unless I had done the project. So beyond just for me, I feel like everybody who was involved got to know the college better, got to know the city better. We learned history based on fabric. I put a huge section, you can see it right here, that's like kind of brown right here, like tan. Yeah. That is teeny tiny pieces. Like there are a lot of quilters in the Beloit area. And so we had a person donate tons of these huge, teeny little sections. And I was like, we got to include it. And so with my assistants back in New York, we labored over it. It was about 35 feet long and everything was like 1 inch big. Wow. But it was, that's the story. That's part of it.
I love that. I love it. Two things. It sounds like a lot like working at Beloit right now for me.
Yeah, so, sure.
and the second, it's like you're asking for a second like artist to come around, like a documentary filmmaker to capture the process, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Well, there's going to be a documentary at Racine in the museum of the press making the whole project at the Racine. And so I try to incorporate those multi-level experiences as part of this. So either hiring a local student group to do like a documentary or doing interviews, like a podcast with people. I'm going to be doing a live cut record here at University of Montana. That's where I'm at right now, of sewing days as we speak. So it's multifaceted. They do a lot of gaming design here. So we're going to bring in VR and see if we can incorporate that and get people involved, in Belgium and Birmingham and Sioux City, all in one room, and experience the conversation of us being all volunteers on these projects.
You said gaming design?
I don't know how to do gaming design. It's more, this is the department that I'm in, which is University
That's a bit of a
Montana.
rabbit hole if I could head down there. I'm just curious.
It's exciting. It's something different. I mean, it's interdisciplinary. That's the part. I mean, we were talking about how to include students or how to get them into universities. And I'm like, it's all about the exposure of different kind of themes and processes, which a lot of times, I mean, I went to the MFA grad experience here, and I was like, I just want to join and become a student again, because there's libraries, there's all these museums. I was like, as an artist, we don't always get that all the time, but a school experience will bring that. And so it just made me excited to go back to school again.
I just want to say that's fascinating that you bring in the gaming thing, and it's inspirational to people, because the world is a constant evolution, revolution. There's always changes, and we talk about, everyone freaks out and everyone likes their comfort as human beings, but the reality is we're poised for change, and that's what Beloit is doing. Beloit is leading some of that. So fantastic. Thank you.
Well, I will tell you, the one thing about Beloit that I really appreciated was to give me the experience to explore new ideas. I will tell you, if you want to Google back down a long time ago, I fooled the whole city in Beloit to thinking that this famous artist from New York was coming, and that was my senior project. And I actually wrote 2 articles that were published, fake news, in the Beloit Daily, the Janesville Gazette, about this fake artist that I invented. And I gave a lecture with slides of this person, named David Coulentianos, had to be a man, and totally faked the whole thing.
Fake news is all your fault.
Yeah.
Just before the turn of the century. It's all on you.
Surprise.
Put us through, my goodness.
Well, it's all about just thinking about what's our stereotype of an artist and what's our stereotype of the art experience, and can we go a little deeper and see what's our relationship to the art community. It doesn't have to, you don't have to call yourself an artist to be creative, and so that's what I'm trying to push.
Yeah, so Amanda, you're kind of touching this already, but I'm curious, what advice you have for current students? Or there's a lot of alumni on the call. They might have kids who are looking to go into a more creative career right now. Considering 2026 and like how things have evolved. Yeah, any advice?
How to become an artist? Is that what you're thinking?
I just brought it out to just looking at a creative path, or artist, or
I mean, the main thing for sure is to always carve the path you want. Like, don't expect it, if somebody's telling you it needs to be like this, really think about how you should do it for yourself. I started large-scale building coverings because the gallery system said, we don't know what to do with you. So I was like, great, I don't need you then. Bye, I'm going to do my own thing. And so, it takes longer amount of time, and you have to be kind of smart about budgets and all this stuff. But the thing that I remind people is that it's all multifaceted. It's like running a business to become an artist. And if we say it's a hobby, you'd be shocked how many people as artists are problem solvers and could do more stuff online and anything than bankers. And so I just remind people, especially parents who are thinking about students being in the creative world, just give them opportunities, make sure they're making constantly. You just have to make work. Do not stop. Do not stop to think whether it's a good idea or bad. Just make it. Failure is the most successful thing you can do. So
I love that. And maybe one last question for those of us on the call who are not maybe the creative type. Like, what's your advice if we're going to like an art exhibit? Like, what do you want people to get out of your art, or like what do you see people getting out of that isn't expected?
I mean, the main thing is just to be open-minded and to know it's okay if you don't understand it. It's okay if you don't like it. That's okay. Like, these are just things that are out there to be looked at. It's completely subjective, and I also kind of push it towards the institutions too, to really think about what is art in some way. Can it be an experience? Can it be an object? Can it be people hanging out in a visual space, or a virtual space?
Love that.
To kind of know that it's multifaceted and it's okay.
It's good for our brains, I think.
Yeah.
I always appreciate looking at art, and it's a very Beloit thing. Like, to diversify what you're thinking about and seeing.
That's a wonderful way of saying it. Exactly.
Yeah, so I love that. Yeah. Kevin and Eric, any last questions?
You know what? Well, you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, right? And that's an amazing trait, because for those who don't know what an entrepreneur is, they're Looney Tunes, and I know that because I'm one. But it really is about always thinking forward, outside of the box, and just always drive. There's the next thing. What inspires you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and how did Beloit tie into that?
Ooh. I mean, the inspiration I just love making things, and I love the kind of moments that happen when someone sees a change in their everyday experience because of the art. So when we put up the piece in Sioux City, Iowa, all the volunteers, it's going to make me choke up talking about it, like start crying when we got there, because we had just spent like a whole year sewing together these teeny things that were small, and it started getting bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden it covered 5 buildings. It was awe-inspiring. You just couldn't help but be excited. And then I think what Beloit did was that I just had so many people saying, well, if you want to do it, just do it. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And I had professors who really took me under their wing. They were like, if you care about it, we'll just support you. And that was massive. I mean, I got funding to do big projects. We had Ralph Nasinski actually help me apply for a grant for the Sesquicentennial Fund, and that was where the flags were funded. His classes helped me build it, so I began the community aspect of incorporating public people into making through that class. And then I worked with the costume department. They gave me their serger so I could actually make all the flags from scratch. So it just became this really bounce around open space. The whole space was a studio. I got a bike and I would just go to the studio every single day as fast as I could, because it was available. So yeah.
Well, it is kind of a studio.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much. I think we've got more people coming, but thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule out there in Big Sky.
And I hope you all come to Racine. Come see the project.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're able to bop down for a moment at homecoming or Beloiter Days there. But
exactly.
All the best for you. Congratulations on your great successes and everything, and we'll talk at you soon.
Thank you, Amanda. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
lovely to meet you all. Thanks so much.
Hi.
Jesse, go ahead.
Me, okay. Yeah, welcome, Leigh and Sara. So you guys are from the Obama Center, and you're 7 years apart graduating. Did you guys know that you were both Beloit alum?
Well, I think we just figured it out from LinkedIn. I mean, we don't, Sara and I don't actually work very closely together on a daily basis, but our work certainly.
Well, I'm so happy to have you guys both here. I'm going to hand it over to you, like I did with Amanda, to talk about your backgrounds, your year, your majors, and then tell us a little bit about what the Obama Center is and how you got there. I don't know who wants to go first.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm Leigh Armstrong. Leigh Moran Armstrong, if any of my classmates are on the call. I graduated in 1991. I was a studio art major with a focus in photography, studied with Michael Simon. And what I do now is for the Obama Foundation is I work as the image and media acquisition specialist for the museum. So since 2019, I've been working as a researcher, working in consultation with our curatorial team, with our external designers, and sort of project planners to come up with images and media that can work within the museum's exhibits. So starting in 2019, I kind of hit the road like crazy and started collecting pictures and working really collaboratively with our entire team. And then in the last few years, acquired everything legally so that we could use it. Sara?
Oh, yeah, over to you, Sara.
Yeah, so like Amanda, I graduated class of 98, and I was an anthropology major, museum studies minor. And yeah, I credit Beloit with, allowing me to work in the museum as an undergraduate, which just immediately was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I thought I wanted to be an archaeologist. I was convinced otherwise pretty quickly, realizing everything comes back from the dig to a nice air-conditioned building, and that's where I want to be. So yeah, following Beloit, just following through the museum careers, mostly in registration and collections management, until landing at the OPC in the start of 2022. So I'm the collections manager there. I basically, I'm kind of in charge of caring for the collections owned by the Center Museum. So making sure everything is properly stored, tracked, conserved, working with mount makers to get things on view. Basically, always trying to balance that preservation and access kind of, not they can end up competing, but really they should be beating each other. And so that's the space that I'm most frequently in.
Awesome. I was also an anthropology major in museum studies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, my career's been a little bit different. So Kevin, do you have a question?
Oh, do I have questions? Well, here's the bottom line. I mean, anybody who's working in a major museum, certainly there's this one has a lot of focus on it and everything. And what is they didn't have a site selection till like the late, I mean, it's 2018. How did you guys come to be there? I guess either and or both of you. I mean, is it just another museum job? Was it a passion? I mean, this is a really unique proposition in terms of what happened in Chicago. And we can't go into the politics or anything of it at all here. But at the end of the day, how unique is this in the museum curating and what you're doing world? Is it kind of run of the mill? What's special about working at a presidential museum?
Well, I think this one in particular is especially special because it is the first presidential center of its model, where we are not the National Archives. The National Archives still maintains their collection, which we borrow from. So things that only the National Archives could have, like states' gifts given to the president, some of the first ladies' gowns that were gifted by designers. So, they're monetarily, they belong to the people. So they are in the National Archives. But it's mixed with our own collection, which is what I manage. So we're really working very closely with NARA, and our curators are really looking at, what are the stories that they can craft, not just from NARA's collection, but being a more expansive museum. We have collections that have to do with various social movements, with what we call change makers, people who were either inspired legislation within the administration or have taken action, following things set up during the administration. So that kind of more holistic storytelling that we can do, as opposed to just talking about, the 8 years in the White House. And for me, I saw the museum basically, we hadn't broken ground yet, but quote unquote, rising from the ground. I was just over at the University of Chicago at their art museum, the Smart Museum. And when I heard that they needed collection staff, I was like, there's no way in the world I'm going to get this job, but gosh, wouldn't it be fun just to learn something about it? So I'll apply. And then as soon as I started talking to people, I was like, oh man, I really need this job. I really want this job. It's just going to be such a unique thing. So anyway, that's
happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Leigh.
Just backtracking a little bit. I've been working for myself for a long time as both a picture researcher and an archivist for photographic collections. And I had done a lot of work in the years leading up to my work with Obama, I'd done a lot of work for the Smithsonian, including work on the exhibits, the inaugural exhibits of the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And so I was pretty invested in this sort of big museum field already as a picture researcher. And some contacts of mine, I was then doing some temporary exhibits for them after they opened in 2016. And some contacts of mine there, I think, they fielded an inquiry about, do you know anybody in Chicago that can do this kind of stuff for us? And so I got an RFQ in my email, which I was sort of like, yes, of course I got an RFQ, feeling very like high on myself. And also I'm a Chicagoan, so it felt very natural for me, particularly because Chicago plays a big role in the storytelling that we do at the museum. Obviously, it's Michelle Obama's, it's her home. It was President Obama's adopted homeland, so it felt very natural for me to be part of this storytelling. And then just on a personal note, I realize you want to stay away from politics, but it's a little impossible to do when we're talking about the Obama Presidential Center. But I had been in Grant Park on November 4th, 2008, on the election night. So it also felt very full circle for me to then 11 years later get this.
That's not political. You're okay. You're all right. I will let you know. I'm the hall monitor here. President Boynton, do you have a question for the ladies tonight?
Yeah, so I'm curious, is there an overarching narrative
of the museum
trying to accomplish, and you have to fit the various patterns or the pieces of the quilt, kind of like Amanda, into this larger, and what is that larger, and who decided that, and was that come up with consensus, or
you want to start?
The simple answer is the progression we say is it's from hope to action, right? That is the bullet point of what the museum is supposed to do. As you rise through, you're thinking about what action you can take in your community to make any change that you feel is important. We start zoomed back. We don't start on President Obama. We start on the Declaration of Independence, as well as, like I mentioned before, various social movements, abolition, suffrage, the civil rights movement, to kind of set the context.
It's on whose shoulders we stand.
Exactly, on whose shoulders we stand. Yeah, before we even get into the story of the Obamas. And I mean, I honestly don't know at what point Louise Bernard, our director, came on, but really, I mean, she would be the architect really of that narrative, along with, President Obama, people in the administration, that they really kind of talked together about what stories were important to pull out. Leigh, I know you've been there a little longer than me, so you might know that development better than I do.
Well, I mean, I would say thematically, it's remained pretty static. Bear in mind, there are a lot of stakeholders on this project, so little things have gotten tweaked along the way, like you can't believe. But this on whose shoulders we stand sort of theme at the beginning has always been present, and then we go into the personal histories of both of the Obamas, and talk about how, what things in their lives sort of inspired them to do the kind of work that they did, and how, particularly like how Mrs. Obama went from a corporate legal career, and then after, leading her soon-to-be husband, sort of transitioned into a more sort of civic-minded role. So, we look at their backgrounds, we look at how they came to be the people that they are, and what prompted them to enter public service. And then, of course, we do a very deep dive into the presidential years themselves. Lots of opportunity for pictures and artifacts, which Sara can tell you more about. But we do all that. And then I think at the end, it's, hearkening back to this hope to action sort of overarching thing, we really try to leave visitors with ideas about what they can do. To paraphrase the president, in his farewell speech, he said, to paraphrase again, because I can't remember it exactly, but the most important role, his most important role is not that of president, but it's of citizen. So we try to leave the visitors with different ideas about how they can, what they can do to move the world forward or in the direction that they see fit. I think that's actually been the most moving thing about the museums is, we've been working on this project for so many years, never knowing how people will respond. And then we opened and the response has been really overwhelming. And I think for me, the most overwhelming thing is watching people walk through the museum, tears in their eyes, just feeling so moved to act.
That's wonderful.
I think that's amazing. I'm sure, and for whatever political spectrum you are engaged with, for any of that, and that's why I asked. My question is because it's huge. I mean, these are people who moved the world, right? And every presidential museum carries its own cachet, so to speak. So thank you. I don't know, Jesse, do you have a last question for the ladies tonight?
I think over to them if they have any last word. I have a little bit of a question, but you can just say whatever you want to. I'm thinking about how your type of job, like it includes a lot of like history and collections and also the public. And I think about Beloit College's education and how it is like very holistic. And I'm just like, was there any surprises of like, oh, that thing at Beloit really helped my job? Or so you can answer that, or you could just say any other closing for the audience.
I feel like I'm so old at this point. I don't really remember. But, I mean.
Stop with that crap.
I think you asked the previous speaker a little bit about what she would, say to students who are interested in the arts or whatever. And I would say, and I say this because I have 2 college-age children, what I try to impart to them and to their friends is to not worry so much about what what kind of major they have, but that they go into a school with their eyes wide open and find the thing that makes them most interested in the world around them.
I love that.
For some people that may be reading 19th century novels. For me, it was photography. And once you find that thing, the world really opens up to you, and you will find ways, as she said, you will find ways to make it work. So, after I finished a degree in art, I went on to study art history because I realized that, I was better at learning about the world by looking at pictures of it, you know what I mean? And learning about creators who made that work. So,
yeah, Sara,
that answers your question.
No. I mean, I think it's all kind of tied together, right? Of like, Beloit and experience, and Sorry, over to you, Sara.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just the remaining curious, the ability to dip into different fields, kind of to Leigh's point, seeing what feels right. But I think also, I mean, in my job, I feel like often it helps to know just a little bit about everything. And so like, just really, taking the opportunities to learn, storing that up, being curious, asking questions, that all of that kind of that curiosity to reach beyond just kind of my immediate sphere, I think really that I very much learned at Beloit, I think has served me throughout my career. For sure.
Awesome. I really love that.
Leigh,
we have one more comment. Michael Simon is a professor that some people on the call might remember who recently passed. And before we hand it back over to Lucy, do you have any thinking about nostalgia and the professors that impacted you?
I have a lot of nostalgia for Michael Simon. I mean, he was really a mentor to me. I mean, in many ways, he was a surrogate parent for my years at Beloit, and I treasure my memories of him. I think that his encouragement similar to what Amanda had to say about her art teacher. You know, it was really his encouragement that gave me confidence to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. So I think small liberal arts colleges, that's where you have the opportunity to shine. It's the connections that that faculty can make with students and sort of forge, you know, really deep and meaningful mentoring relationships. So keep doing that.
And I love that you kind of just brought that full circle to how Eric opens this and how he saw professors welcoming new students on campus, you know, 18-year-old, 17-year-old. So like, that's really beautiful. I really love that. So thank you so much. And I encourage everyone to go to the Obama Center and yeah.
Thanks for having us.
I got a couple things to say, and ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Want to thank everyone. We're gonna hand it over to Victoria in just a moment here. I want to thank President Boynton for hanging with us and all the time you spent tonight. I know your time is precious. And
well, it was a fascinating discussion, Kevin. It was wonderful.
Heard the cicada in the background, which I appreciate, but also there was a farm animal.
Truth be told, it's my dog with a squeaky toy.
No, I heard that too. I don't know where the cicada were coming from. We got him here, but can we see the varmint? Is the animal near, or did it run off? And then there you go. There it is. Oh yeah, happy. Thank you. And Eric, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the college. Thank you from the Alumni Association. Hopefully from the alumni at Broad. Hopefully we see everyone soon. Before we hand it to Victoria, I want to thank Jesse. I want to thank Lucy. I want to thank everyone who helped put this whole thing together. And Saturday night, now Saturday night during Beloiter Days and Homecoming, we're going to be at the Sea House. And I'm going to be standing there in my silly shirt, handing out beers, or if you want, whatever you want, iced tea, that'll be there. But so we welcome you Saturday night as alumni to the Sea House because President Boynton called someone out. Thank you, and we'll be enjoying some time together as alumni at the Sea House. So thank you all. Thank you, Jesse.
So Kevin, real quick, it's 2 nights at the Sea House. If you're a Sea House fan, it's Friday and Saturday night if you want. The Saturday night is this fantastic idea, incorporating some student experience in the alumni. So we can do some mentoring and advising on the Saturday night.
They're going to allow us to mingle and network with the undergraduates in a social environment?
It is going to be controlled, Kevin. And
dude, I'm not there to pick up freshmen. Come on.
It's called Last Call Legends, and so there's a new tradition starting on campus around Last Call.
I don't know about a legend.
Final day of the semester, and so this is a legend.
Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Well, anyway, thank you all. Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Kevin. Over to you, Lucy. Sorry.
Yeah, before Vicki takes us out, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here and taking time. And I know that we're a little bit over time. I'm not going to be there tomorrow, but my son is moving back there tomorrow for, I don't know what year of school it is for him, but he's really excited and I'm excited for him. And I know it's going to be a fantastic year for the college. So Vicki, take us on home.
Okay. And I'll try to be short and sweet, which is to say, thank you very much for everyone coming as an audience and all the people who participated. I was really floored by all that wonderful experience that everyone has had. Do come if you can to Beloiter Days. I think that in September that's going to be a wonderful time. And if you need information, you can go on the Beloit website, and if you hit Beloit EDU alumni, you'll find a lot of really great information I've been researching. And then we want to have as many alumni active with Beloit and involved with Beloit. So you can do a lot of things. You can mentor students. You can become involved with the schools. You can be on the alumni board if you're interested. That'd be great because we can always use fresh talent. And there are many other ways you can contribute to the college, and we would really benefit from that. And we'd really like to be able to be more involved with everyone who is on the call and more people over time. So as a old person, I'm probably the oldest one on this call. I'll tell you now, Beloit has changed my life, and it's changed a lot of people's life, obviously for the better. And so it will be great to see everyone more often and be more involved. So thank you very much for coming and attending.
All right. And I'm busy tapping away here. Just one last thing too. Some of us are meeting up at Ravinia for Bonnie Raitt on Saturday if you're in the Chicago area. And September 3rd, we're going to a Brewers Cubs game as part of the Alumni Association. And the ticket rep keeps on bugging me saying that we can still get more tickets, even though he put the pressure on me to buy them early. So if anybody still wants to go to that game, we still have tickets. But unfortunately, it's also the same day as the first football game of the season, which I did not know. So I apologize for that. And again, thank you, everyone. Sorry that we had glitches with StreamYard, but we're getting better at this. And next time we do this, it will be perfect. I swear. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening, and we'll see you hopefully in September.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.